stay like this.
Yo, how is it going, Bears fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Bear Down Podcast. I am your host, Chris, and today I am joined by my co-hosts, Parth and Jaylen. How is it going, gentlemen?
What's up, guys?
So, obviously, the 2018-2019 season came to the close a couple days ago with the Super Bowl. We haven't really talked about that, so before we get into the actual video, I want to ask you guys what your thoughts on the game was. Obviously, a pretty slow game. No big tribute to SpongeBob. He got a little clip. But it was a slow game. Some say the commercials were bad, too. I see Jaylen's mic's on mute, so I'm going to start with you, Parth, but jokes aside, what were your thoughts on Patriots versus Rams?
Well, it was definitely not what I expected. I mean, I expected a high-scoring battle, so it was kind of confusing.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it. I still watched it with a lot of interest because it's the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to get the NFL specifically in like another
Totally.
7 months, so
Yeah.
I love football, so there's that.
Yeah, I mean, I thought coming into this game, I was excited. I didn't think Goff was going to have as much of a cough-up as he had against the Bears because even though he had a terrible game against the Bears where he threw 4 interceptions, I thought he was still going to be able to turn around, and I still believed in Goff personally, Jared Goff. Not so much after this game. I posted something on Instagram about it a couple days ago, Goff versus Trubisky comparison against the Patriots, but Goff was absolutely terrible. Brandon Cooks dropped a touchdown pass, and then there was another one where if Goff had thrown it anywhere 1 to 3 seconds earlier, it would have been a touchdown, and he didn't see a blown coverage. Not the greatest game for Goff, and it really dropped my trust and my belief in him. It seems like he's somewhat more of a systematic quarterback. So he kind of, I wouldn't say blew it. I mean, obviously there was also Tom Brady going down and having the game-winning touchdown drive. But when you hold the Patriots to 13 points, you think you set yourself up in a good situation. And if you're the highest-scoring offense in the NFL, you got to score more than 3 points. Jaylen, what were your thoughts on the game?
My thoughts were this. Coming into this game, I feel like this is going to be like a great game, maybe even better than last year. We know last year was an amazing game last year, so I feel like this could be one of the best Super Bowls. But
it was the worst.
I really did see that. This is considered one of the worst Super Bowls ever.
I mean,
worst one I've watched.
No, the worst one I've watched is Denver versus.
Yeah, that was bad
Seattle.
too, just because it was a blowout. Yeah, you want close games in the Super Bowl.
Dude, 43 to 8 is way worse than 13 to 3. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah, fair enough. At least this one was closer, but still, yeah, I agree though.
Yeah, like I was saying, like the best thing about probably Super Bowl day is finding out, who 21 Savage is.
Yeah. And Demi Lovato.
And Demi Lovato getting arrested.
Yeah. Let's not get into that. Anyways, point of this video, back to the point of this video, we're going to be talking about the Bears throughout the offseason, I would like to say. So if you are a Bears fan, you want free agency coverage, NFL draft coverage, coverage about coaching hires and all that stuff, if you want predictions, if you want trade rumors, all that, subscribe to the channel. You can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Bear Down, and you can find all of our personal fan page links in the description. But the point of this video is we're going to be talking about the 2019-2020 season and why we think the Bears have a very good shot to make the Super Bowl. Now, right before the season started in 2018, I made a video saying 3 reasons why the Bears are going to make the playoffs in 2018, and you guys love that video. So this is a little bit of a upping on the scale, I guess. We're gonna jump up and say this is why the Bears are gonna make the Super Bowl in 2019-2020. So we're gonna go around the table, give some reasons why we think the Bears are gonna make the Super Bowl. I'm gonna start off right here and say the offense is gonna be better in 2019. It feels weird saying 2019 still, just being the new year. It's kind of weird saying that, but clearly I think the Bears' offense was mediocre this year. Obviously, we saw the strides that Trubisky made, but I even said it in the beginning of the season, and I said it mid-season too when Trubisky started playing well. I said one more offseason in this offense, and Trubisky's going to be lights out, I think. I believe in the guy. I didn't believe in him as much at the beginning of the season last year. You can go back in videos, and I wrote him off a couple times. But throughout the year, I saw the progression that he made, and I can tell that he really made a good connection with Matt Nagy. I talked about Allen Robinson a couple days ago on my Instagram, and I said, hey, he's an unselfish receiver. He's someone who lets the ball spread around, But I think as Trubisky progresses, guys like Allen Robinson, Trey Burton, all these new guys who got a decent bit of looks, I think are going to get more looks heading forward. I think one more year to indulge this playbook, and Trubisky's going to be great. So my reason for the Bears making the Super Bowl next year, if that were to happen, is because of the improvement of the offense, more specifically Mitchell Trubisky stepping it up and playing even at a better level than he did this year in his Pro Bowl sophomore season. That's going to be my reason. We'll see what happens with the run game. If Jordan Howard's gone and Kareem Hunt's in, I think that could be great, and that could also help us out. But the overall improvement of the offense in 2019 under one more year of Matt Nagy and Mark Helfrich just consuming the playbook, I think is going to help a ton. So that's going to be my reason for the Bears making the Super Bowl next year.
I mean, yeah, I love all of that because last year at this time, like when they came to Hallis Hall for their first 2 weeks of practice, 2 months of practice. I don't know how long it takes to get the whole playbook down. But they're just learning where they're standing on the field and then what route they had to run. So that consumed a lot of time during training camp.
Yeah, totally.
So now this year they're just ready to go.
I think this year, if you look at this year, I think they're going to be able to delve deeper into the playbook. Obviously, Nagy, when he came in, he talked about how deep the playbook was. And I think there were times last year, I think you guys can both agree with this, where the play calls got a little bit too conservative and we're like, oh God, we've seen this before. When does it get deep? I think this year it gets deep and we see some stuff we've never seen before, along with just mastering of the simple, complex, or the simple, not as complex plays. So I'm excited to see where the offense goes next year. Jaylen, what do you think? Oh, Jalen's mic's muted. Never mind. Never mind. No, Jalen's here. Jaylen, what do you think about this offense this year, and what do you think is going to happen to this offense going forward?
I definitely think this offense was it was in the beginning of a new era of a Chicago Bears team where we had a new head coach, a first-year head coach who was bringing in a very difficult offense from any coaching tree. So definitely in year 2, I see this offense, even though it was already top 10 this year, I see it being top 5 next year.
Yeah, totally.
We can, once Trubisky finds his consistency, there's no way you can stop this Bears team, especially if the defense, carries from this season to next season.
Yeah, totally. I mean, you look at it. Yeah, you look at it this season. I was watching today on a Twitter thread by a Windy City Gridiron writer, and you look at Trubisky throughout the season. The impression or the progress he made. He went from being someone who wasn't getting his feet set, and I called it in the beginning of the season. I called it happy feet. And you look at him in week 14, 15, 16, 17 against the Vikings, against the 49ers. He's getting his feet set. He's delivering throws. That's what you want from a quarterback. So just the progression he's made makes me hopeful about next year. And obviously we had a ton of first-year receivers. Guys like Anthony Miller are going to improve. Taylor Gabriel was a target that I was hoping would get more deep passes this year. He had a couple signature passes that were deep, but I think we could limit the screens with him and go deep with him a little bit more. Allen Robinson, I talked about him earlier, someone who I want to contribute a bit more, and then we'll see what happens at running back. Trey Burton had a pretty good year, and also I wouldn't mind getting Adam Shaheen a little bit more into it, but I think the offense, there's a lot to look forward to for the offense as far as 2019 goes, but I want to pass it down to one of you guys. Jaylen or Parth, whoever wants to go, if you guys have a reason, give me another reason why you think the Bears can make a Super Bowl run in 2019.
Well, I feel like you said the obvious, biggest reason to the offense can take a huge improvement, but something to keep in the back of the mind is how is the defense going to do under Chuck Pagano? We have a new defensive coordinator. It's something we have to worry about. Is it something we have to be concerned about? Is it going to be too much blitzing? So is that going to be calculated risk?
Totally.
And all that stuff that Maggie and him were talking about.
Yeah. I think it'll actually benefit us personally if I can step in for a second. I like Pagano being a bit more aggressive. I think we've got some good rushers off the edge. I didn't like how much Fangio put guys like Khalil Mack and Leonard Floyd into coverage. I just don't think that's a formula for success. I don't want to be overly aggressive, obviously. I think it's good to drop into zone sometimes. But Pagano knows the 3-4 well. I do think we're going to lose either Amos or Callahan, and at this point I'm thinking it's Amos because everyone's saying, oh, Amos had a good Pro Football Focus rating in 2017, and they're going to use that to get him money. And I think some NFL team's going to bite the bullet and or bite the bait and get Amos a better contract than the Bears. I think Callahan will come back to Chicago, which is good. I think safeties are more expendable. I think they're easier to replace. One to watch out for. Obviously, we're going to have some money to spend if Amos is gone. Tyrann Mathieu, I don't know what Houston's going to do with him. And also, another one to look out for is, I think, Keanu... What's his name? Atlanta. Keanu Neal got cut by the Falcons today. I don't know if he'd be the greatest replacement. He's okay. But he's someone who has some experience that the Bears could also bring in as well.
I was looking at things where, like, Packer fans wanted to sign Amos, which is kind of like,
Yeah.
Like
well, if they have the money to do it, that's great. But my point is, I do think that one of those two is going to be gone, and that'll affect the defense. But I think if we find a good replacement, this defense is going to be solid next year, get the ball back to our offense. And we just talked about how explosive we think the offense will be next year, so I'm excited to see what the offense does next year. But I think the defense will be rock solid again. Jaylen, what do you think about this defense under Chuck Pagano?
In Chuck Pagano's press conference, he said he's going to be very aggressive, and I like the sound of him being aggressive with Khalil Mack on our defense, along with a up and rising Leonard Floyd, who Leonard can definitely develop being used more aggressively. Like you said, Fangio definitely dropped him into coverage a little too much. And, Floyd being 6'6" and coverage, that can be good, but at the same time it can, because he might have to guard against
someone else you also got to look out for is Roquan Smith. I actually liked when he was dropping into coverage this year, Roquan Smith. I mean, obviously he's good coming off the edge, but you could tell how much better he was improving as a coverage back linebacker throughout the year. He had a couple passes defended as the season went on. So I was glad to see him drop into coverage. We'll see what Pagano does, but I don't expect much of a drop-off to this defense. And if we somehow can retain Amos and Callahan, that'd be great. I just personally think Amos would be the one to go if that happens. But I would love to retain them both. I'm not writing Adrian Amos off at all.
Oh, yeah, I know we talked about this in the video, but if we do replace Adrian, who's like more than likely gone, then I could definitely see us drafting a safety with our first pick.
Yeah, totally. Third round. Yep. Well, we got Eddie Jackson in the fourth round, so Deion Bush isn't going to cut it though. Deion Bush might not be the one to go in there. I'm not sure. Anyways, we'll find a replacement for Amos or Callahan, whether it be Kevin Tolliver, someone that's already on the Bears, moving to nickel, or signing a guy like Tyrann Mathieu or Keanu Neal. There are options, and the Bears are going to find a way to find a good replacement that hopefully won't lead to much of a drop-off if one of those guys does decide to leave. So, anyways, the full spectrum of that was Parth was saying this defense isn't going to have much of a drop-off, and they're going to be more aggressive, which in turn will get us the ball on offense more hopefully. And, that'll be good for a Super Bowl run. Jaylen, do you have anything that you want to contribute to this conversation? I have one more point if you don't have anything, but go for it if you do.
That's basically talking about everything I thought about.
Yeah, okay, I'll go then. This is something also small to keep in the back of your mind, probably smaller than the defensive point, but we will have a new kicker next year. That was probably what kept us out of what kept us out of the divisional round this year. We signed Redford Jones. We signed Redford Jones. Don't know if I essentially trust that. Personally, if I'm Ryan Pace, I'm biting the bullet, offering Robbie Gould something good that'll lure him away from San Francisco. San Francisco's going to pay him. They respect him. He was incredible for them this year. So the 49ers are going to be tough to oust in that contest for Robbie Gould. But either way, we're either going to have a new kicker in Redford Jones. He's a young guy. Why not give him a chance to at least compete with Parkey? If not, beat Parkey for the job. If not, look for other guys in the draft. I know the LSU kicker, I forget his name, but I talked about him earlier. He's pretty good. I don't like many other of the free agent options, but I wouldn't mind bringing in a young guy or a Robbie Gould. So,
De La Haye or whatever his name is.
Totally. So I would actually say a reason we'll make the Super Bowl is because we'll have a reliable kicker. You got to get points up on the board if you want to beat the teams that are in the playoffs. You look at some of these games in overtime, they come down to either a touchdown or a field goal. And you got to be able to get your points up in the board in regulation so you don't force yourself to be kicking a kick for the win or, going into overtime and giving Tom Brady the ball in the Super Bowl to win the game. Yeah.
You can go first.
A little interesting stat for us. So Super Bowl 54 is next year, so 54 Urlacher.
Yeah, in
it's
Miami.
34 years after the
Walter Payton.
Super Bowl, the one that we won.
Walter Payton's number.
Yep. played in Miami on Papa Bear's birthday, so George Hallis' birthday is on that day, and it's the 100th season of this franchise. So.
And the NFL. Yeah, that'd be cool. Well, that'll pretty much do it for this one, guys. Comment down below if you guys have any other reasons why you think the Bears will make the Super Bowl. And also comment if you guys think this is realistic. I mean, we were third in the NFC this year. I think it's only going to go uphill from here. We'll see what happens with the Saints and the Rams, the top two teams in the NFC. But also our schedule's hard. That factors into it. Are we going to be able to make the playoffs? Are we going to be able to win the division? It's going to be tough this year. Obviously, we got a new play caller in Matt LaFleur in Green Bay, a young offensive mind for them. I'm not too worried about the Lions. God knows what's going to happen with Kirk Cousins. But that's our spiel on why the Bears can make a Super Bowl run in 2018. If you guys want all the Chicago Bears coverage throughout the offseason, do us a favor, smash a like on this video and subscribe. That'll pretty much do it for us. You can find all of our Instagrams in the description, and you can follow the podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Bear Down. That'll do it for us, guys. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Bear Down Chicago. Peace.
Peace.